Most low stakes poker players think they need a complicated strategy to win. I've been a winning poker pro for 7 straight years, and I'm telling you right now, there are 4 simple hacks that would change your results fast. In this video, I'm going to break down each one so you can start using them today. This first one might sound boring, but trust me, this is where low stakes players donate the most money without realizing it. If you play too many hands pre-flop, you're not just playing more poker, you're putting yourself into more situations where you're going to make expensive mistakes. When you do play too many hands, you end up playing a weak hand and you flop something that gives an illusion of looking decent. Let's say you hit top pair weak kicker or you have a weak flush draw. This can cause emotional attachment to your hand just because you hit something. The truth is, you played a hand that you should have never played in the first place. In low stakes poker, one of the biggest mistakes players make is thinking everyone else is playing all these hands, so I need to do it too. This is not the case and should be avoided. You can sit there and let the table entertain itself while you wait for good spots. Low stakes players do not lose because they didn't play enough hands, but rather because they played too many of them from bad positions without a set plan. So here's the hack. Be tighter than the table. 3 of the most significant positions to do this is in early position, small blind, and big blind. When you're in early position, you're going to be out of position against multiple people. This means you need hands that can actually handle pressure and defend against aggression accordingly. The blinds is where I see players leak the most money at the poker tables. In these 2 positions, you already start the hand at a disadvantage. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I just want one change that will improve everything, it's this. Stop trying to be involved in every single pot. In low stakes poker, you don't win by playing more hands. You win by playing better hands in better positions against worse ranges and letting other people make the mistakes. This is how you will constantly find yourself in spots with much easier decisions than before. If you want to continue to discover more ways to beat low stakes poker, you should grab my free guide, The Low Stakes Poker Blueprint, by scanning this QR code. You will receive the 100 rules I used to win for 7 straight years. You can also receive it by clicking the pinned comment in this video to visit my website. Now let's talk about the one skill that separates winning players from break-even or losing players. It's going to be folding. And I already know what some of you are thinking. Brandon, I don't want to fold too much. What if they're bluffing? Honestly, could they be bluffing sometimes? Yes, but it does not happen enough where overcalling begins to become a profitable play long term. People are calling in the wrong spots against the wrong people. Low stakes players usually aren't losing because they fold too much. The best players in the world understand something very simple. You don't get paid in poker for being curious. This brings up one of the oldest sayings ever. Curiosity killed the cat, and it may very well kill your pockets at the poker tables. So many players call on the turn and river just to see it. You need to have a clear reason when you make decisions at the poker table. Just hoping and not understanding what hands you beat is not a clear strategy to have. This will cause you to be a losing player in the long run. Here's the truth about low stakes games. When a tight or straightforward player is betting big on the turn and then betting big again on the river, most times they have it. If they find a massive check raise on the turn and blast off on the river, guess what? They once again just have it. If you can develop the discipline to fold in these spots, you will save more money than you can imagine. I will say this one more way for you. A lot of poker players are trying to win money by making hero calls. Winning players win because they are not paying off other people. Bluffing does exist to a certain extent, but low stakes poker is not some crazy bluff fest. A big part of your win rate comes from recognizing the following. This line makes sense. This sizing makes sense. This player type does not bluff enough for me to make a plus EV call here. And then folding even if it feels super uncomfortable or annoying in the moment. Trust me, the best fold you ever make is the one where you know you're beat and you still let it go. This is how you protect your bankroll, your confidence, and keep yourself in control. Now, this next hack is one of the easiest ways to stop spewing in low stakes games. The more players in the hand, the more careful you must be. This is where beginners get crushed because they enter a pot with multiple people, they flop top pair, and they treat it like it's the nuts, aka the best hand possible. However, in a multi-way pot, top pair does not hold the same hand strength as heads up. I want you to think about this very carefully. If 4 people see a flop, that means ranges are wider and someone is far more likely to have 2 pair, a set, or a strong draw. Yes, top pair can win sometimes, but it is hard to hold up going all the way to the river. So to keep it simple, when the hand is multi-way, you need to tighten your continuation range on each street. Focus on bluffing less, only betting when you have a strong hand, and stop attempting to push people off hands they probably aren't going to fold anyway. Also, stop trying to play a massive pot with a marginal hand. This is one of the biggest problems I see at lower stakes. Players build massive pots in multi-way situations with hands that are not strong enough to do that. Dependent on positions, you can bet if you have a really strong hand. If it is a marginal hand, your job is to play pot control. When the action becomes crazy and money starts flying everywhere, sometimes you have to be willing to fold if you were just sitting there with 1 pair. The table tells you the truth faster in multi-way pots, and you just have to open your ears and eyes and pay close attention. Beating any low stakes poker game is possible, especially by grabbing my free guide, the Low Stakes Poker Blueprint, with this QR code. For 7 straight years, I have used these 100 rules to consistently win. You can also receive it by clicking the pinned comment to visit my website. The next hack can increase your win rate a lot at the poker tables. When you 3-bet with the goal of isolating weaker players. Most low stakes players 3-bet in 2 ways. The first is only with aces, kings, and sometimes queens. The second is randomly with hands they do not know how to navigate with post-flop. Both of these are not ideal for winning more money. Here's what I want you to start doing instead. When you identify a recreational player at your table, someone who limps too much, calls too much, and doesn't like folding, this is the person you want to play pots with. One of the best ways to target them is to 3-bet them with really good hands that have great playability and try to get the pot heads up. Heads up against weaker players is where you are going to print all of your money. This is where decisions become clearer and easier. Once you hit a strong hand, you can bet relentlessly because remember, they do not know how to fold and they call with so many worse hands. You are using 3-bets to create the perfect game and scenario you want to be in over and over again. Remember, low stakes poker is not about outplaying the best player at the table. It's about getting the most volume against the worst players in the biggest pots with the strongest ranges. In this next video, you will see the mistakes 98.7% of low stakes poker players make. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you watch it now.